In this section, I'd like to talk about notification and actions in Windows 11. So off the Start menu, I'll type in Notifications, and I'll see an option for Notifications and Action Settings in the System Settings. I'll click on that. And the first thing you may notice is I have my notifications currently turned off. In reality, most Windows 11 PCs I work on, I do have the notifications turned on. I find the majority of them are pretty useful. But when I'm recording training videos, I usually turn off the notifications because they can become a little bit distracting. But normally I would have these turned on. We have a lot of options in this interface. Almost all of them are basically yes or no. You can turn it on or turn it off. So overall, I'll turn on notifications, and that gives me some options underneath where specifically for the suggested notifications, I can individually turn those on or off. For OneDrive, because I have OneDrive installed on this machine, I can turn that on or off, etc., etc. It goes through some different things that I can turn on or off. And depending on what applications you have installed on your computer, you may see a lot more options for turning notifications on or off for those particular applications. We also have some checkboxes at the bottom, and really a checkbox is just a different way to turn things on or off. Yes or no on the Show me Windows welcome experience, yes or no on offer suggestions on how I can set up a new device, and yes or no on get tips and suggestions when I use Windows. Again, in the real world, I leave all of these on, but on a demo machine where I'm recording training videos, I usually turn all of them off. To actually see a notification, if you want to test this out, if you haven't seen one before, the easiest way to get one is to turn off Windows Firewall. So I'm going to search for Firewall. I'll click on Windows Defender's Firewall, click on Turn Window Defender Firewall on or off. I'll click on Turn it off, hit OK, and immediately I get a pop-up saying Windows Firewall is off. Microsoft calls this pop-up a notification, and if you have several of them, it will stack them up. They always appear here on the right side of the screen, and when you have a new one, the little number will appear on the taskbar. So these are notifications. Again, overall, a useful thing for the most part. You have a nice, easy-to-use interface to turn them on or off entirely, or turn different sections on or off as you please. Now I'd like to look at a little maintenance on hard drives. So off the Start menu, I'm going to type in Disk Cleanup, and then open up the Disk Cleanup app. It's asking me which drive I would like to check, and I'm going to choose the C drive, and hit OK. Then fairly quickly, it will come up with an interface showing me some different categories of files that I may no longer need, and therefore this wizard can delete those files for me. It shows the name of the category, such as temporary internet files, also the amount of storage currently being used there, for example, 7 megabytes. And then there's a checkbox that will be used to indicate whether or not I want to delete these. And in this case, I do want to delete these temporary internet files. As I scroll down a little more, I can see I have about 10 megabytes of thumbnails that'll be deleted, and 2.5 megabytes of temporary files. I'd like to delete those also. Overall, in this example, I'm only deleting 19 megabytes of files. That's really not very much. On a computer that's been in production for a long time, this number could be significantly higher. So once I've selected all of the items I'd like to delete, I'll just click OK. It asks me if I'm really sure I want to permanently delete these files, and yes, I would like to, so I'll click Delete Files. And for me, it was a small amount of information, so it'll run through this fairly quickly. and delete the items that I indicated I wanted deleted. Now I'd like to do a demonstration of working with local group policy in Windows 11. So off the Start menu, I'll type in Group Policy, and the first option I get is Edit Group Policy, which will bring up a tool that is titled Local Group Policy Editor. So it does a good job of letting me know I'm working with local group policy, not domain group policy. The setting I'd like to demonstrate is under User Configuration, under Administrative Templates, in the Desktop folder. So you can see I have about a dozen different items we can edit regarding the desktop configuration. I would prefer to see these in alphabetical order, so I'll click on the Settings heading, and that will change them into alphabetical order. The one I'm interested in is Remove Recycle Bin icon from the desktop. So if I click on that, on the left we get some more information about exactly what this does. And if I double click on it, I have the option to leave it as not configured, enable, or disable. If I enable it, I will in fact remove the recycling bin icon from the desktop. If I disable, then I will not remove the recycling bin icon, which is sort of a double negative, and it leads to the recycling bin icon would appear. So when working with group policy, you want to be careful that you read some of these things thoroughly, because some things are phrased in the negative, and by disabling them, you create a double negative. So in this one, enabling will remove the icon. I'll click Apply and OK, and we'll see that now shows up as enabled. I'll close the local group policy editor, but we see my recycle bin is still there, and that is because this particular setting requires a reboot before it takes effect. So let's pause for a second while I reboot. And now that I'm back from the reboot, we can see in fact the recycle bin icon is gone from the desktop. As expected, our local group policy has removed the desktop icon for the recycle bin. I am going to turn it back on though, because I kind of like having the recycle bin icon on my desktop. So to turn it back on, I'll just have to change the setting back to not configured, hit apply, hit OK, and when I reboot again, it'll go back to normal. Now I'd like to talk about troubleshooting Windows 11. Typically, in a troubleshooting situation, the first thing I do is look at the logs. So off the Start menu, I'll type in Event, and I'm given the option for the Event Viewer app. I'll go ahead and click on that. This Event Viewer in Windows 11 is very similar to that in previous versions, and also very similar to the Event Viewer you would see on a Windows server. On the left-hand side, we have the option for Windows Logs. I'll open that up. The three most common logs we look at are the application log, the security log, and the system log. So the application log gives us information about the various desktop applications we are running. The security log tells us about successful logins and failed logins, and also successful and failed use of certain accounts and security objects. And then third, we have the system log, which tells us about hardware issues and issues with various services that Windows runs. On the right-hand side, we have the option to filter the current log. And if I click on that, I'm given the option to filter by only critical and error, which is typically what I'm most interested in. So hit OK, and we see that filtered me down to just critical and error. In the Filter Current Log dialog, we also have the option to filter by a keyword. Unfortunately, we can't just type in any keyword we want. We have to use one of the pre-populated keywords, which can be useful in some situations, but I've always felt this is kind of a bit of a limitation. I wish I could just type in any keyword here. I do have the option to do something somewhat similar. Under filter current log, 3 options down is find. And if I click on find, I can type in anything, any keyword basically. It will help me find a log item that contains that keyword. And then if I hit next, it'll find the next log item that has that keyword. So this isn't exactly filtering. Instead, it is stepping through the individual items that have the characteristic that I'm looking for. I'm a big proponent of using logs for troubleshooting. First of all, it is always good to get more information about the problem, and the log is the best place to do that. And secondly, looking at the logs isn't going to make anything worse. One of the typical problems that happens in troubleshooting is someone misunderstands the problem, and then they jump right in and start doing things that end up making the situation worse. If you come to the logs first, you read these items, you understand these items, that should significantly decrease the chances of misunderstanding the problem and therefore decrease the chances of making the situation worse. Now we're going to talk about configuring storage in Windows 11. So off the Start menu, I'll open up Settings. And at the top level, under System, I have the option for Storage, which will take me into the storage interface. You can also get to the same interface by searching for storage here in the left-hand search box, or off the Start menu if you search for storage. You'll probably end up in the same place. It's always seemed a little odd to me that storage does not appear in the left-hand menu because it seems really important, but that's fine. It's still fairly easy to get to. When I pull up storage, I get information for my local disk C, which is 126 gigabytes, and that is the only disk drive I have in this machine. If you have multiple disk drives in yours, then you will probably see a listing of each of those drives and some information about it. Right under the label of local disk C, we see a nice graphical progress bar showing that I am currently using 23 gigabytes of data and I have 102 gigabytes free. And it's showing that the majority of my data is being used by apps and features, and that I have very little in temporary files, which is good. If your temporary files start to utilize too much disk space, you can click on this and it will give you various options on deleting the files. So for example, I have some temporary files from Windows Update, some thumbnails, some temporary internet files, various things, and I could choose to remove those from this interface. Below that, we have 3 options: Storage Sense, Cleanup Recommendations, and Advanced Options. So let's talk about each one of these. Storage Sense are tools that will automatically clean up temporary files. If I turn it on, it will automatically run Storage Sense either on a predetermined time frame or the default of when the disk space is running low. I'll probably keep it on that. I'm given a few options for what to delete. It will delete anything that's been in the recycle bin for more than 30 days, and you can change the age of that, but 30 is the default. It will also delete files in the download folder. So something that happens to a lot of people, you download something through Microsoft Edge web browser, you use that file once and then you never use it again, and it just sits in your download folder wasting space. You can set up Storage Sense to automatically delete old files in the download folder. Going back to storage, the second option is Cleanup Recommendations. This will find files that the machine thinks are good candidates for deleting. For example, anything in the recycle bin, any large or unused files, unused apps, and files that are synced to the cloud. The idea here being that If it's been synced to the cloud, you may not need to keep a local copy of it. So much like the previous section, this is recommendations on freeing up space on your hard drive. Whereas with storage, since it would happen automatically, this is more of a manual process, but we're not having to search the entire hard drive for files. Windows 11 is presenting us with options that are likely to be unwanted files, or in the case of large files, it would be something that would make a big impact by deleting it. The last option is Advanced Storage Settings, which pulls up several additional menus. One that I like to look at often is Disk and Volumes, showing me that I have one physical disk here. It's divided into an EFI partition, a basic data partition, and a recovery partition. And these are the standard 3 partitions you get when installing Windows 11. In Advanced Storage Settings, I also like to look at where new content is saved. And being I only have one drive, everything's going to be saved to the C drive for me. But if you have multiple drives, you can control where new information is saved. So maybe, for example, you want to keep your music on a different drive. You could come in here and easily select new music will save to a different drive. So again, these are some of the basic storage options we have available to us in Windows 11.